the channel, guys. Welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be replacing this on the E61 and I'll show you why. This controls essentially how straight the rear wheel is. So if it's loose, the wheel will do that over bumps, which causes the back end of the car to move outwards as you go over a bump. So this is what it's designed for. Now mine, I'll show you in a second, is completely done in, and yeah, let's get into it and let's get it out. Right, so I've jacked the car up and I'll show you guys the issue, and what we'll do is we'll pull you in closer. So what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to grab the wheel 3/9 and essentially I'm going to push with this hand and pull with this, and you'll hear. I don't think how well that captures on camera, but this whole wheel is physically doing this from the bottom so from top to bottom, 6 o'clock and 12 o'clock, it's completely solid. So that would indicate a rose bush joint, and this is going to be the rear track rod that stabilizes the rear wheels and keeps them straight. So we'll take that off and I'll show you guys how to do this. Always do it in pairs, and I'm using a Mailey HD part today. I always recommend using decent quality parts for suspension. Let's get on. Right, so the joint we're replacing in question is this. If I pry this and wiggle this, you'll be able to see it's actually a movement there, and that's what's causing the disc to push this way like that as you hit a bump. Hence why we're going to change this. This is what they use to adjust the tracking on the rear as well. So you'll need, once you've done this, you'll need to take it to a garage to get the rear wheel alignment done, and I'll show you guys how to do this, but I will do it the other side as well, and I won't film that because it's identical. But yeah, you need to get these two nuts off, sorry, you need to get this bolt off, this nut off, and then down here get this ball joint off. So let's see if we can do that. Right, so guys, I've put the E11 Torx socket onto the end here, and then using my 16mm. Right, so as you can see, if you use a E11 Torx socket, it will actually fit on the end here. It's not really designed for this, but it actually does work. And then this stops the ball joint from spinning, and then put your 16mm over the top. But works a treat. So just a little tip for you guys. One nut. Give it a little tap. Right, so that's brilliant, that's nice and free. So what we'll do now is we'll just tackle these two here. Another 16mm. Right, this can be seized for certain people, so just bear that in mind. This one's not too bad, to be honest. Right, so that's the nut out. I'm just going to try and drive this out a bit. Right guys, so you join me again. Actually got this out now. It was a bit of a pain. You can see on this ball joint, the whole thing, I can even feel it, it's moving inside. So yeah, that's the reason why my rear end is so wobbly. And in fact, when I do that, I can actually feel it, like you can see. Just with a bit of pressure, it's crazy. Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be quite liberal with the copper slip. bit awkward here to get this in, so just got to play around with it a bit. So now we've got to do is try and swing this and get the bolt through. But what I'm going to do first, I've decided, is I'm going to put this in first and adjust this and put the ball joint in afterwards. Get this aligned. I can definitely tell you on an E61 that this is a much more difficult job, just because of the airbag situation in the way. And there you go, that's in. Put a bit more slip on there. I know this is quite a lot, but nobody ever said copper slip is bad, so let's pop that in. Just gonna have a little observation of where it all sits. As I say, you know, it is designed to be retracked, but yeah, it'd be nice to sort of try and get it half decent before I put it back together again. Alright, put the little washer back in, like that. Now let's see if we can get this back in, which is going to be the interesting part. Finally! That was hard work. Right guys, so quick update, back in. Spent literally half an hour trying to get this one back in, but it's now in. Ball joints in. Just got to do these bolts up. Grab my brand new nut for the end of the ball joint. Tighten that up with my 16mm. So that's done up. Right, so we have no movement anymore. Awesome. On the back here, I'm just going to take this nut off because we're actually going to use a new nut, which I neglected to see in the pack. Trying to get a bolt onto a thread. Love it. Why does nothing ever go on correctly? On. Let's do this up quickly. Interesting to see actually where this is meant to go. And what we'll do now is we'll try and see if we can get it aligned back up to where I had it. It's probably the hardest part now because everything's under tension. Right guys, I thought I'd just give you a quick explanation of how it works. So it's not central. So this flange, as you turn it, it actually pushes this arm this way and then back, depending on where it is on here. And that is what is used. You know, if you put your spanner on the end here, and you could either undo it or do it up. Doesn't matter too much, but when you do that, you actually, when undoing this bolt here on this side, so if I undo this, then what you can do here is adjust your nut into the position that you want. So what I've done there is actually pulled the wheel in. And yeah, it's just a fine adjustment on that. Now obviously I can't tell what it's meant to be without really putting it on a machine, so I'm just going to have to sort of adjust it how I sort of want it. And I'm going to do it in the middle, right there. Once you're happy with that, you just tighten it up like this, or undo it accidentally. Like so. And there you go. So let's drop it down. The suspension, that is. And let's clear up a bit, put the wheel back on and see if we've got a wobbly wheel still. Oh man, I've just stuck my tripod in the copper grease. And there you go guys, so let's have a little look. Nothing. Oh, nice and tight. Happy days. Right, so we'll just we'll drop the car down, make sure the wheel isn't turning in really sharply or turning out, just so, you know, and make it really dangerous to drive, but it should be fine. And then yeah, we'll see how we get on. I'll do the other side and then get it aligned. Give the disc a quick wash down. So notice there's a bit of copper grease in there. And let's give it a test drive and see how we get on.